in North Carolina. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Because if you think Kelly is just quietly sitting in his cell, writing sad songs and reflecting on his crimes, you couldn't be further from the truth. Behind those prison walls, a whole different kind of drama is unfolding, a drama that feels less like reality and more like a scripted Netflix thriller. Let's rewind for a second. This isn't Kelly's first taste of prison justice. Back in 2020, when he was still awaiting trial, he got jumped by a fellow inmate named Jeremiah Shane Farmer, a Latin king with face tattoos and a body count. That dude walked straight into Kelly's cell and beat him like he owed rent money. It took pepper spray and a correctional officer to break it up. And here's the kicker. Farmer later filed a handwritten note in court claiming the government made him do it. Yeah, he straight up said officials egged him on to attack Kelly, and while people laughed it off at the time, fast forward to today and suddenly that claim doesn't sound so crazy, does it? Because now reports are surfacing that Kelly's not just facing random prison beef. Nope, this time the threats against his life are looking a whole lot more organized, a whole lot more calculated, and possibly tied to the very people who are supposed to be protecting him. We're talking about prison officials allegedly recruiting gang leaders, cutting secret deals, and dangling freedom in front of dying inmates if they just do one thing. Silence Robert Sylvester Kelly once and for all, and here's where things get real twisted. One of those inmates, Glenn Stein, a high-ranking Aryan Brotherhood shot caller, terminally ill and supposedly with nothing left to lose, came forward with a sworn statement saying he was given a straight-up assassination assignment. Get transferred to Butner, blend in, and then take R. Kelly out in exchange. He'd be allowed to escape custody and live out his last days a free man. Hollywood couldn't write it better, but instead of carrying out the hit, Stein says he had a sudden change of heart. Imagine that, a man who spent decades behind bars, racking up a reputation for violence, suddenly deciding he doesn't want R. Kelly's blood on his hands. Instead, he walks up to Kelly and drops the bomb. They sent me here to kill you. Just sit with that line for a second. Imagine being R. Kelly, already disgraced, already hated, already living every day on thin ice, and then hearing that the guy in the next cell block was literally assigned to take you out. Not by rival gang members, not by enemies on the street, but allegedly by the very system that locked you up. If that doesn't make your blood run cold, I don't know what will. According to Stein's sworn testimony, prison officials weren't just casually joking about roughing Kelly up. No, they were straight up negotiating like mafia bosses. The deal was simple: eliminate Kelly, and in return, Stein would be rewarded with an unofficial early release. Think about that for a second. The government talks all day about law and order, about protecting justice. And then, if Stein is to be believed, they're running backroom deals with one of the most notorious white supremacist gangs in America. If true, this isn't just corruption, it's an assassination plot dressed up as prison bureaucracy. And here's where things get juicier. Another inmate, David Keith Harris, also linked to the Aryan Brotherhood, stepped forward with his own bombshell claim. He says the same BOP officials offered him a twisted bonus round. Not just kill R. Kelly, but also take out Stein because Stein had gone soft. According to Harris, they even offered him clean paperwork and medical perks. If he pulled it off, clean paperwork, people, that means erasing his priors, giving him a fresh slate, like hitting the reset button on decades of crime. All he had to do was slip a little something into Kelly's food tray, let the medicine do its job, and boom, problem solved. Now, whether you believe these inmates or not, here's the fact: Kelly's health did take a nosedive. In June 2025, he was suddenly rushed to the hospital with what his lawyers describe as suspicious medical complications. Blood clots, irregular heartbeat, and what looks suspiciously like an overdose on his prescribed meds. His attorneys insist it wasn't an accident. They argue it was a setup,